Good morning. I am here this morning with James Brown, a very dear friend of mine who has allowed us to come to his home and show off his beautiful work. Today's episode is landscaping and gardening and flowers. I love flowers. I love flowers. And so typically I have to go and purchase flowers for myself to put in my home. But today I'm going to be around a host of different flowers, and you're going to show us the different flowers, tell us about them. Tell us about how we should garden the correct way.
Okay.
Um, and ideally, guys, what we're doing is we're being COVID safe. We're in the middle of our social distancing. We're in the middle of quarantine. We're home. We have a beautiful backyard, some of us. And so, what can we do during this time that can keep us busy and we can enjoy it and we can reap the benefits later? So, this is why we're here today. Taping this episode with James Brown. Now, I am going to let him introduce himself because I will forget everything that he has to say about himself, okay? So guys, welcome to James Brown.
Okay. Thank you. Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to share my experience in gardening and plants and grass and all the work that involves landscaping and trying to have have your yard to be the best it can be. I began just brief. I began gardening and not landscaping so much gardening almost 20 years ago with a health challenge, and I was just recovering, and I decided to do some more yard in the work because I think my neighbors built a fence to block out my yard the way I was looking at that time also. So I started that process, and obviously I got healthy and I'm doing well. But that was, like I said, many years ago, and that started that process. And from there, every place I've been, I've moved here in Blythewood about 7 years ago, but before I came here, I lived in the North Columbia area community, and I had a great experience with plants and grass and landscaping. And so it brings me to where I am now in regards to the efforts that I put into my yard here. It is a form of relaxation for me. Let me just say, during this pandemic, when many people say I'm just sick of being in the house and I can't go any place, and I wish we could go to the movies, I wish we could go eat out. Well, my relaxation and how I've been able to handle and my family members, Joy, my wife, we have, I have, and she's kind of the cheerleader for me and give me ideas, but I have made it an effort to work in my yard every day doing something. I've been told by, especially my grandkids, Papa, you're in the yard all the time. And I said, do you like the yard? Yeah, but why are you in the yard? I said, well, I can't do it unless I'm in the yard. So that has been my what I've done, and I'm sure before this session is over, if we haven't already, Dr. Nick and the producer haven't gotten photos of the yard, you'll see them. But it's a work in progress, and I can spend let me just reemphasize the importance of. I know Dr. Nick is a clinical psychologist, but I know she's a clinical counsel board certified counselor, and so I know that she knows the importance of being able to relax and just kind of calm down and not take everything so serious. So when I'm out here and listening to the music and I have a little fountain that moving and working in my yard, that is my best form of relaxation. If there's a health challenge with family, friends, or if there's I'm sad about the number of people who have been infected by COVID-19, and the way that I do with that, rather than say, "Oh Lord, so poor thing," I feel bad, but I come out of my yard and not just the back, but the front, and I put efforts in, and I look at it as in my work, my profession that I did 4 different agencies for a total of 41 years before I retired. I always take the same approach that I took in my work, that in order to get the end results to be the best it can be, you got to put time into it, and you got to really, really focus on it. And I take that same attitude in regards to how I
Your
do
yard.
my gardening and my landscaping.
Well, I want to thank you again. Just sitting out here listening to you talk right now, and of course, anytime I'm outside, that makes me feel in my happy place.
Yeah.
So I hear the birds and I hear the nature, and we talked about just sitting outside trying to figure out which creature is making what sound. So I'm in my element again. And of course, every episode, I'm going to make sure I'm intentionally in my element. So thank you again.
My pleasure.
I enjoy being out here right now. So we're going to get up and take us on a tour.
Sure.
All right, let's
sure.
do this.
Now, during this tour, if I come to a plant that I may not remember the name, but the thing I remember most about it when I saw it, that it was a plant that was pretty and it was a perennial.
That's all that matters.
And I'm going to talk about the difference between perennials and annuals.
Okay.
And the benefit of using one over the other as we go through our tour.
Okay. So, there go my sew again. So, I love flowers. I love green grass. I love outdoors. I love nature. Everything that we're doing on each episode, I do enjoy. However, I'm not good at it. So each week you'll see me trying to educate myself, learn, and become better. So I remember growing up, my father would always win the best yard. Did y'all have that in your neighborhood?
Actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that, and I didn't mention it.
Uh-huh.
But in this community, Hunters Run,
Uh-huh.
It's been in existence for about 8 years. I think we moved here about a year after it was developed. And they have never had a yard of the quarter for the entire neighborhood. And we were the first recipients of the
See?
yard of the quarter.
Awesome sauce. And yes, awesome. That's awesome.
And it came with a wonderful gifts. That was good, but when they gave me the gift certificate for Lowe's for as a appreciation,
gift?
but for a quarter, my yard was the yard of the month for
That
the
is
entire
awesome.
neighborhood.
That is awesome.
And I tell people I do it I never thought about yard of the month. I could get, well, I can't say give. I could
Right, I
could care
understand.
less.
Right, right. But you're doing it for
real.
your
I do
purpose.
it because I enjoy doing it. My family enjoy it, and I just happen to be recipient of yard of the quarter.
It says a lot to spend this much of time in your yard, and then for your neighbors to drive by, and then of course your neighborhood or your community to come by and say, hey, Mr. Willis, you've been awarded, yard of the month. So we took pride in that. So as I'm sitting out here and I'm thinking about how he would be out there in his yard, and it would be beautiful. So let's get started.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so listen, again, guys, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I know that I frustrate some of you because I'm asking too many questions. Again, I'm going to repeat the same thing I said before. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And I do ask a lot of questions because I need to know. And I don't know how much you know. I just know that I don't know a lot. So I'm going to let James do most of the talking, but I will ask questions, and so please bear with me, okay? Because I'm learning too, because guess what? One day I want my yard to look like this too. All right, so
Okay.
take over.
Okay, good. Well, good. Well, I'm excited to share what I know about these plants. Some I know about them. Some I know about some, and some I know. Only thing I know that they're just pretty plants. But these are daylilies. These have been. They were transported here from where I lived almost 7 years ago, and they don't die. They just keep multiplying. They are perennials. They'll go down completely at the end of the summer, and at the end of going into the winter, and then they'll come back. I just cut them down. They'll come back, and they grow even higher every year. So
Okay, so question
anyway.
for me.
Yeah.
Let's say that I'm sitting at home, I'm social distancing, I'm bored, my yard looks like crap, right?
Yeah.
I know absolutely nothing about flowers, but I know that I love flowers. I know that I love the greenery. I know that it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is the very first thing that I should do if I want my yard to look something like this?
Okay, the first thing you should do, and this is for your lawn as well as the plants, there's a process of getting the plants and the grass to the point where it looks like it looks now.
Okay.
And there's a preparation that comes with putting a insect killer.
Okay.
That comes on in March. People sometimes think we wait till we see the bugs to put the insect. I have a special insect killer that I've used for several years. You put that on, and then a lot of people, the pH in lawns and plants requires lime, and so lime is getting you prepared for the fertilizer.
I got you.
And then there's also, in addition to that, for grass, and even in an area like this, weeds will always grow forever and ever. This is their territory. This is, and so what you do, you have to put a pre-emergence. Pre-emergence means you put it down before the weeds even come.
So there's a whole bunch of
Yeah, and
pre-planning before we begin to create a beautiful yard.
And then there's fertilizer that really gets them to the point where they are.
So again, we talked last week about fishing and how relaxing it was
Yeah.
and how beautiful it was, but that too requires a lot of
It does.
knowledge and skill and expertise
Yeah.
and training, and so
Sure.
here again we go with
Yeah.
the same thing as
It
far
does.
as gardening and
Yeah.
flowers.
Yeah, it's a process. I have some friends and family members say, "Well, I put water on it," and
That would be me.
and I put a little bit of no. It's you have to know the plants enough to put enough fertilizer on it at the right time
Understand.
for it to be the best it can be.
Gotcha. So this can be frustrating because every time I get a
Yeah.
plant, it dies.
Yeah.
Now I know why.
Yeah,
All right.
there's a process, and I'll just mention these briefly, and that's that was transported here from my house where I lived before, but I think even before then it came from my Joyce's grandmother's house, but it hasn't. It usually grows higher, but for some reason this year I can't explain that. But anyway, it brings really pretty blooms too when it does come.
Awesome.
And it comes later. These right here, I don't. My mom used to call them morning glory because they used to bloom during the day, and get like this at night. But these are the opposite. At night they really bloom up really unbelievable when the sun goes down.
Awesome.
And those this is lantana, verbenium that's in there. And so the other plants I thought to put a little bit more exciting color. And again, forgive me, but I do not remember the names, but I saw them at a plant place where I get plants, and sometimes the local Lowe's, Home Depot. I thought that would be a good contrast with the yellow and the purple in there.
Awesome.
That's
Now, let's talk about this green grass that I am stepping on that feels like carpet. So, and again, I don't know much about what you got going on here. I do know that not often places that I go to home that I can touch the grass and it's actually like this.
Yeah.
So there's a method. There's something that you're doing.
Yeah. And there is, and I explained it just a little bit in my earlier comments. This is the most, this is out of not problems, they're not problems, it's challenges.
Gotcha.
The biggest challenge with my yard, everything is the grass. Because this grass is not anywhere close to where it was 2 weeks ago with all the rain. There can be, and I'm going to explain the process in a minute, but there can be too much rain. With my sprinkler system that I didn't put the timer on to cut off when it rained, it got double rain. And if you notice back in the back, there's a little brown spot. I made a determination that when I look at my sprinkler system, it hits that spot really hard. And so it's really, really soft. If you step in it, it's just almost soggy.
Well, listen, we're not going to focus on the...
but that's fine. But I just wanted to mention that to you. But for this right here, okay, starts out. I'm gonna be real. I'll try to be brief as I can be. You start out in March with a weed emerger that you put down with a spreader. Okay, that's and I can tell you they begin to come back towards a year as much as you do them. But you just have to. It'll be dormant soon, so you won't even see it. But you put that down. Then after that, you put down the lime along with not bug killer, just insect killer.
So let me stop there. Because London, of course, she is an inside dog. She
Yeah.
will not be outside
Yeah.
unless she's with me. But let's just say that I did create a beautiful yard for her or for us one day. You have to be careful with putting chemical on your yard and having animals, right?
I do, and all of this, and we don't have a dog, but we do have. I have a granddog. My granddaughters, they live in Fort Mill,
Uh-huh.
and they have a little sweet Noah who's probably about 6 or 7 pounds,
Okay.
and he runs around here.
And it's safe.
Yeah, it's safe
that's
because
going to be important.
Because now I wouldn't allow Noah to come out here, because when they come and stay over, they bring Noah.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's just like a
Family.
just like my granddog,
Right,
just
absolutely.
like a
Yes,
little
yes,
boy
yes.
or girl.
Yes, yes.
So at any rate, but all this process I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
with the weed killer and all of that is done before between May, April, March, and May.
Okay.
And so when he's here, most of the time we're doing the time that's already
Awesome sauce.
okay.
All right.
So I took a long time to say he's safe, fine. But
Let's go look over here
Yeah.
because this is beautiful. Would you consider this like an island?
well,
flowers?
well, now I have the Hunters Run community. When we moved, there was just a pattern. There wasn't any plants there. It was just a pattern of straw they had put around. So I decided to keep that and expand upon it.
Okay.
And so I developed that as it is, but the design was already there. And so in this you have, okay.
Look at the butterfly.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh
You
my
see.
goodness, I hope that you have that. That is a butterfly. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And see
Beautiful.
now this right here was transported from where I lived before.
Uh-huh.
It will cover.
I'm distracted with the butterfly.
I know,
I'm not
that's
even listening
okay.
right now.
Well, so come back, butterfly.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And so those are lantanas. They come back every year, and each year they multiply. And
Okay.
and there are some, everything in here is perennials, meaning they come back every year. I have a few annuals for color, those two and that one right there. But everything else you see, and the hanging plants, those are annuals.
Okay.
And everything else, it comes back. The roses, everything come back once a year.
So once you get it established, it's easy to kind of keep
It is.
year after year.
And you have to do that process of liming, put liming and fertilizing, because bugs will destroy plants.
Absolutely.
So you got to do
Absolutely.
that. Now, over here, there's a name for that. I call it border grass. And that border grass there is probably transported when I moved here, and it almost doubled in size, and it even get bigger each year as well. Those are daylily. I'll let him get those first. But all of that, those are and they are perennials also. They come back bigger and beautiful every year.
Gotcha.
And when he gets done, I'm gonna tell him about not the tree, but about the daylilies.
Okay.
They were big bloom. I'll wait till he get done there.
Okay.
On just a quick, those look like maybe they're just green plants there, but those are daylilies. And for about a month, most of the month of June, it's probably 8 or 9 lilies, yellow, bright yellow, on all of them.
Awesome.
And so they'll come back again probably around in May of next year.
Okay.
But you can see the stems where they popped off, and usually when they get I pull them out. And so, and on the grass, one other thing that is 2 types of fertilizer. Put it down. The first part of April, you put down a quick release fertilizer, which is a boost. For 30 days, it just boosts the grass for just 30 days. And then in the first of, that's the first of April, then the first of May, you put down the regular fertilizer, which lasts for about three months or so. And that helps keep it as green. But like I said, it's so much rain can make it usually stand up more vibrant, but and it's fine, but it's not where I know it can be.
So I could find myself easily in the backyard sitting over here. Is it safe to sit in here?
Yes.
It's safe to sit here?
It's safe to
So
sit.
this, guys, think about it. We talked about being outside, social
Yeah.
distancing, and
Uh-huh.
and again, all of us don't have a backyard like this. So finding somewhere where we could have a swing or
Sure.
something just
Sure.
that doesn't cost anything.
That's
and it's
right.
just,
Yeah.
I don't want to fall.
No, you're not gonna fall. You're fine. You're fine.
I don't want to be, I am
fine.
clumsy. I keep telling you guys all that.
You like that was made for you to sit there.
So, but absolutely, I could have, a beverage and look outside,
And-
have a book, have a journal, have music, have nothing, have the wind, the air, the birds, the rain. I
Yeah.
could have anything
and the
outside.
and the other creatures that I don't know who they are. All I
Yeah,
know-
like the lizards that wanted to attack
Yeah.
me earlier. But the point of it is, we may not know how to garden,
Yeah.
landscape, do yards. I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm probably sure that my yard will never ever look as green and as beautiful as yours.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it myself.
Sure.
And
sure.
so I'm doing it with love.
But
And I'm learning.
Yeah, but I can say to those who eventually gonna see this video,
Uh-huh.
the biggest thing is trial and error because
Yes.
nobody ever told me how to do yard work,
Yes.
how to landscape and garden. Over a period of time, it just developed and came. I got a couple pointers on
Mm-hmm.
different fertilizers and climates, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But design now that's over there. What you
This?
see?
That?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or what, this?
That. No, not that.
That.
Not that. Around it, there's a name, but if you notice there, in the back, it was just kind of a cover, and I used to kind of take it up, but it becomes like a green plant around the tree.
This right
and
here?
and that was transported from where I was before.
I was
here.
thinking that they were more like ivy leaves, but then I didn't want to.
Well, that might be it. And
Yeah.
and I was about to throw these lilies away here
Uh-huh.
because they were multiplying. I was about to throw them in
These
the back.
lilies here.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you something. If I don't have a backyard, but could you? Because lilies are very, very special to me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Could you put them in a pot?
Yeah, this
I
is
could
a pot.
keep 'em?
This is a pot right here. You can't. That's a barrel. See, that's a barrel.
Why would you throw a plant away?
Because they were multiplying too much on the porch.
So can I have some?
Sure, you can. You can when we go back, you can pull whatever you want over there.
Guys,
Yeah,
I get to
and
get
and you
some
know what? I've
flowers.
shared them with my sister-in-law. She's taken them back to Atlanta, and they've done well. And anybody who will
There's a story behind
'Cause they
the
multiply.
word lily.
oh really?
Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Oh.
So yes, I won't take them today,
Yeah,
but I do want to have some of your lily flowers. and
sure,
put in
sure.
my
You're
home.
welcome. You're welcome to. You're welcome
Thank
to have
you.
them. That because they it's unbelievable how they multiply. It wasn't. It was half that size last year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
You have just made my day. You really have. You
Yeah.
really have. All right. So what questions should I be asking you right now for my audience to know what to do if they decided to get up right now and go to Lowe's, Home Depot, or wherever to get their yard started?
Okay.
Anything that I've left out?
No, the only advice I would have if they were you talking about starting now, you want to focus in on bulbs that can be planted now and they bloom during the winter time. But as far as planting perennials, putting the annuals out now, unless they are designed for just winter, you have to check with wherever you buy the plants.
Okay.
And ask the expert which are the best plants for the winter, because if you plant plants now that are for the summer,
I understand that.
they'll
You're right.
be gone.
I got you.
So that's
Right.
important to keep that in
Okay.
mind.
So you are retired.
Yes.
You have retired of what, 40-something years.
Yes.
So your budget is a little different than our budget.
Yes.
So for us who not necessarily have a budget, how affordable is this if we're trying to do it? We're just trying to do it for fun.
Yeah, it's affordable because these plants you see, I didn't go and buy them all at one time.
Okay, okay.
Some of them, as I've said before in my comments, they're transplants from where I lived before.
Yeah.
And they come back every year.
Okay.
So there's no budget. Just
Awesome.
to fertilize
I like
them
to hear that.
and keep the bugs out of them.
Okay.
And so it's not very expensive now. Now if you decide, once you get a step, now in the beginning it may be a little bit not very expensive, but it obviously it costs you more.
Gotcha.
But once you get your yard established, it's just a matter of maintaining it, and maintaining it is not as much as actually spending money to actually get it started.
Awesome. Okay.
So-
Last question, I think.
Yeah.
So your grass is green. It looks like, it really does look like a thick rug.
Yeah.
Who cuts your grass? Do you cut your grass? You
I
do it
am
yourself?
my landscape. I've had
Okay.
people, not, and I'm not. Trust me, I'm not one to brag at all, because I'm not. I want to make it perfectly clear. I don't brag on anything. I don't. I hate when people think that I'm bragging, because I'm not.
I got you.
My whole point. Let me get to the point. My whole point is that I enjoy doing it because it is, as I said before, so relaxing.
Yeah.
And then as far as actually thinking about that it is something that I'm really excited about and can't go to sleep at night thinking about. I don't. I enjoy seeing it, and I enjoy entertaining my
It's
family
rewarding,
and friends
yeah.
when they come.
Awesome.
So that's my motivation to do it.
Awesome.
And then, and like I said, Joy, she gives ideas and I'm on some things, and which sometimes I say
We
yes.
have to give
and no.
ideas. You do the work. You do the work,
Yeah,
and we
I
give
know,
the
I
ideas.
know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And those lantanas right there, I still own the property where I moved here from. That's not important. What's important is they had these, and these were in my backyard, and God bless my tenants. They do a good job, but they don't worry about plants so much.
Right.
So I dug them up and brought them here. I put those there about a month ago.
Okay.
And they were look like they were not going to survive, but the right fertilizer and everything you need to do,
You can make them survive.
they can spread that whole fence. In 2 years, they could spread the whole fence. That's how
Awesome.
much they multiply.
Well, I'm going to challenge you with the lily. I'm going to make sure that lily survives at least
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, and I won't now, because you probably won't remember. I'll give you advice on what type fertilizer
Yeah.
to use.
No, I want you to give me step by step, because I'm going to make sure that my lily survives.
Because that's food. You know, think about plants, about human beings and animals. We need food.
Right.
And so why would you think you only put water on a plant
That is
with
true.
no food, and it would bloom and just sprout out the
That
way
is
that they
true.
are?
When you put it in that perspective, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
Because I'll just put water on it and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I hopefully what I've shared can be helpful to someone. I'm no expert.
Well,
I'm
listen,
just
and
someone.
that's why we were so excited for you to let us come, because
Yeah.
I don't need an expert. I just need someone that's
No.
normal like us.
No.
We're going to take a look at your front yard, because when we drove up, of course, that's beautiful too. You do your front yard as well.
I do. And you know, I missed the point. And you asked me about the work. It's also a form of a workout for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm a walker in the mornings, and sometimes I don't walk. I'll spend 2.5 hours in my yard doing stuff, and I feel like I walked 3 miles.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the
You'll definitely be
therapy
tired
part,
when you
it's
come
the
out.
exercise, and it's just self-fulfilling. No other than self-fulfilling for me and
For
my
you.
family.
That's what
and friends.
matters. That's what matters. All right, let's
Yeah.
go take a look out in the front yard, guys. So we're getting ready to walk to the front yard to look at the beautiful landscaping there. But again, guys, I keep re-emphasizing how beautiful and green the grass is, because
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
necessarily
Yeah.
familiar with that in
It's
South
that
Carolina,
treatment-
per se.
It's that treatment process that I'm not going to repeat that I shared earlier.
Gotcha. Guys,
And-
look down this hill right here, how green it is. And then, you know, of course, we didn't talk much about the landscaping, but the curbside is awesome
Yeah.
right here.
And see, edging, that's, and you know, so much stuff I could have mentioned. Edging is important. See, if you cut your grass, it's like getting a haircut,
Absolutely.
and then you
Okay,
don't
let's come
get it
around
shaped
here.
up.
Well, I haven't done all this because my dad used to do it, but I remember he had an edger. He
Yeah,
had
oh,
the
yeah.
clippers.
Yeah, oh yeah,
He
yeah.
had the salt. I mean, just all
Yeah, so
kinds
you
of
got to
stuff.
invest in the. You,
Yeah.
you can't have the old school like that
Oh.
and trying to maintain your shrubbery.
I'm sorry, guys.
That won't work. You got to
I
invest
said
a little
that's
bit of
what my
money.
daddy had.
You got to invest a little bit of money in that.
So, guys, okay, so you do have to buy some supplies that are updated and more modern. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah.
I guess I'll put that on.
But and these lilies here, they all I can't emphasize enough
I am so
about
excited.
because I treated them well when I lived in Meadow Lakes. So when I moved here and did the correct fertilization, they continue. All of these right here, the day and these right here, the border grass, all transplant.
Awesome.
Now the
It's
shrubbery,
beautiful.
they were here.
It's a warm, inviting way to welcome to your guests to your home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guys, guess what I'm getting ready to ask you to do? You already know what it is, right? Subscribe. 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 Please. I want you to view this episode. I do want you to share it with your friends and family, neighborhoods, everybody else. But I also want you to subscribe so we can continue doing what we do. I'm pretty sure that I didn't ask all the questions that I should because I don't know all the questions to ask. So if you are an expert or just someone knowledgeable in what we're trying to do here, making sure that we have some opportunity to social distance, quarantine, COVID-19, and enjoy life and relax, please, 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 please drop me a message. Let me know what questions I should ask for you guys, the questions that you need to know about lawn, about flowers, about what else, James Brown, do I need to make sure that I cover? Because hopefully, if I don't get it, they'll get it, and they'll know exactly what to do when it comes to their lawn.
Well, the most important one bit of advice, and I did not share it earlier. There's the Clemson extension. Sometimes people who have challenge with their grass growing, even though they put fertilizer, you can get a maybe about a small bag of, I guess, like one of those little convenient little plastic bags, and get maybe a couple, maybe a quart of, equivalent to a quart of sand for them to sample that, and then they can give you advice on exactly what type of fertilizer, because every fertilizer for centipede and Bermuda grass is a different type of fertilizer. So that is important in regard to the grass. I would highly recommend that. Clemson Extension there, and there's no, I think it's just a few bucks to do that.
So basically what you're telling me is that I should learn and research first.
Yeah.
Research my yard, research my soil, research my flowers, research whether or not I want flowers in the sun versus flowers in the shade. So there's a lot of research to do before you set. Okay, awesome sauce.
Because when you purchase plants, if there isn't a tag that says for summer, partial sunlight, full sunlight, no sunlight.
Awesome.
Then you need to ask wherever you're buying them from, because if you don't do that, then you could plant it and then a week later it's gone.
You're wasting your money.
That's important.
Okay. Well, guys, there you have it. Thank you, James Brown.
My pleasure.
Very much for allowing us in your home, in your neighborhood, in your front yard, in your backyard. Guys, take a look at this one more time. It is beautiful out here. Very peaceful. Doesn't cost anything, and it's safe. It is safe. You don't have to worry about Mr. or Mrs. COVID-19. Again, guys, subscribe to my channel, Life with Dr. Nick. Stay tuned to next week, and we're going to have some more fun next week. I appreciate you. Bye.